Everyone. Okay, welcome to the stream. We are a few minutes early. So let's see how the stream starts, how it starts up. Give people some time to join as well. Let's see how this is working. Because I'm planning to go more on live on live streams on YouTube as well. And yeah, basically see how it works, create some content that works, and help you guys a little bit better in providing information, what works for me. So if you're here in the stream, give a quick hands up, give me a quick hello, let me know that you're here. I'm happy to have you. Let's see. Yeah. Hi, 3 people already. That's good. Let stream fill up. Great to have you guys here. Hey. So I was just explaining in this stream, I'll be going over some basics of gear that you can use. If you watch this stream, it won't take more than an hour. You will have a clear idea about like what kind of gear you can use to get started, what is the ideal starter kit to get started, and what is the fastest way to start making money. I've written this out on a blog post on my website, so I'll be going through that, and I'll be going through the gear that I use to do beach shoots, like my ideal starter kit, and basically how you can have your own starter kit and get out there and start making money with whatever. It's really easy actually. Once you've got a basic camera, you can go out and you can start making money, and it's quite easy, and it's quite easy to do as well. So we are waiting a few minutes. Before I get started, I want to take the time and say thank you. Thank you for joining this live stream. I'm really happy to have you here. If you've got any questions up front about gear that you're using now, please drop them. And I'm really happy to have you in the community. And of course, talk how you can grow, how you can have solve gear issues, what you can do in certain situations. And yeah, I want to say thank you. Thank you for joining the live stream and watching, giving your precious time and listening to the valuable information that I give in this live stream exclusively for the people that are watching now. Yeah, thank you. So it's 1 o'clock. Like I figure, let's get this started. Yeah. First of all, YouTube launched a new community feature that I'm really happy I enabled it. And as of today, there's the option to join my special community on YouTube. I'm really going to build that out. If you are just watching this stream for the first time, I'm doing live sessions regularly, and now there's the option to subscribe to my community. That's completely free, doesn't cost you anything, and it gives you the option to post things, post photos that you are making, get some input from the other community members, and I would be really thrilled to have you there as well. So if you've got that option, make sure that you subscribe, and I think after 1 day you get the option to join the community, and I'm really happy to have you here. DG Books, hello sir, hello back, great to have you, DG Books. If you've got any questions, by the way, I've got the tendency of rambling on because I don't get any input, but please feel free to reach out and write something in the comments. I'm really happy to have you. Danlo T, hi, Xin Chao. Yeah. All right, so in this live stream, I want to go through the gear that I am using and the gear that you could potentially use as well to get started taking photos, and it's really not that much that you need. And number two, get started to make an income and potentially turn photography into a side hustle. So, and to do that, I want to go through the gear that I used and I started using at first when I started photography, and gradually go through the gear that I'm using today after 10 years of wedding photography, after 10 years of portrait photography, and doing countless time for print projects, free projects in my home studio. And I hope to share with you a way that you can turn this into a potential side hustle and start making money with this, because it's actually not that hard. So download T, hi, thank you so much for the comment. If you are watching this stream right now and you've got a question, or you are shooting with a camera at the moment, you have a camera, let me know what camera you're shooting with, and if you're happy with that, or I'm really curious in general about what kind of brands people are shooting with. Nowadays, a lot of people are shooting with the Sony brand, but 10 years back, me myself, I started with a Canon 70D, and everything can work. All cameras are good to shoot with, of course. It's a matter about how you control your camera. But in general, I'm really curious. Let me know in the comments what brand you are shooting with right now, and what your main baby is. I'm really curious to hear that from you. All right. When as you're taking your time, go over that. Let me know. You can also drop that later. Yeah. I want to reflect a little bit about how I started photography myself. And again, people who are just joining this live stream, in this live stream, I'll be going over ideal budget starter kit. Yeah, about what you can use if you want to dive into photography. This channel is about creating content with a photographer's content creation kind of mind. I've been doing photography for 10 years, and I started doing videography as well 4 years ago. So all the things that are being discussed are from a perspective of a photographer that always takes his camera with him and shoots in the high megapixel photos through a real lens. But many of these principles, they are actually quite solid for general content creation. So if you don't have a camera at the moment, these principles will also apply to you, probably, if you're shooting with a regular phone, in which I'm going live on at this moment. Yeah. So DG, how to save a battery in a Canon camera? Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean with that. When I 10 years ago started with a Sony or a Canon 70D, I had 2 batteries with that, and they were quite solid. They were quite strong, and I only had to charge them once in the morning, and they could last like a whole day. But I can imagine the new mirrorless systems. They've got some problems with battery. They maybe last less long, and I suggest going through Google and like turn off features like Bluetooth, like screen brightness, standby time. I would go through these settings so that you can save your battery life of your camera. Download the Free Fire HD Final Destination. I think that's a little bit off topic, and maybe also Google can answer that question for you. Okay, I think that's a better place for that comment. All right, so let's dive back into this. Guys, if you're just joining this stream, I'm more than happy to have you here. DG Seabooks, you're welcome. If this helped you in any way, please feel free to join my community that started today, and I'll be more than happy to have you. Yeah, so that's as far as the intro of this part. If you are just tuning in, I'm really happy to have you. Watch this stream if you want to talk about like the ideal setup, the ideal gear setup that you can start taking photos with, and potentially on a budget base start earning potential income. Pick up a camera. We'll be going over like the basic settings, the basic budget gear that you need to start taking photos and start your hustle and start making money with that. So a lot of the things that I'm going to talk about are actually on my blog post on my website. So if you don't have the time to watch the full stream, know that there's like an ultimate gear list blog post on my website that you can just go through, and it has all this information. Today, we'll be going firsthand through some of the things that you can buy on a budget, the cheap gear that you can buy, and what you really actually need to get started from a starter's perspective. Because I didn't start out with a $2,500 body that I have right here, the A7CR. I didn't start out with this big camera, and it's perfectly fine to start out with a smaller camera as well. Okay, thank you for the first time for this thread only. You're welcome. You're welcome, Dan Loti. Gomsao, Konkuchi. Okay, so first things first. You will learn about like a starter kit. I'm gonna share with you what an actual starter kit looks like, how you can start making money with this, how you get started, what you should buy or what you can buy to get like an ultimate budget starter kit, and what an ideal kit looks like depending on what you need and what kind of photos you like to take actually. So let's dive right in. Yeah. So again, on my website there's like a gear list that I am shooting with, but in this video we are going through like the full beginner starter kit. If you are a beginner, then this live stream is for you, because I'll be going over like all the aspects of what is important, where do you have to focus on when you are going through your gear, what you're shooting with, and how you might want to upgrade, all with the perspective of going on the beach and taking portrait photos. Or actually not even going on the beach, like wherever you want to go with someone, take portrait photos and start shooting content. All right, so if this sounds interesting to you, please give me a like. Let me know in the comments what you're shooting with right now. I'm really happy to hear what kind of brand you fancy, what's your baby, and let's go and let's dive right into it. Yeah, so the first thing that is important, I guess, is that you start with a camera, right? And if you're shooting with your phone at the moment, like that's perfectly fine. You can create great content with your camera and with your phone. What I use my phone for at the moment is one of my main cameras when I'm shooting content for my YouTube. The moment like the ways you can use your phone is like really great nowadays. It has like a 4K video camera most of the time. It's got HDR built into it, so the quality of the video you get out of it is quite good. You don't even need to have like a decent iPhone. I know maybe there are some naggers and people that are not gonna love me for this comment, but it's true. You don't need to have like an extensive iPhone to get like decent content shot from your phone. The moment actually that you're telling a story and you're making video content with your phone, that's actually the moment you're telling a story. And aesthetics are queen, but content is king. Content is really king. So nowadays, like photos, like they're even good for making thumbnails. Like thumbnails are like the small kind of images you put on your videos. And if you're talking about social media or Instagram content, it's not that you want to hang that sort of photos on the wall. So a phone can really be supportive with the sort of content you're making, and whether you're making like content um, just for TikTok, yeah, you're going live, or YouTube, like we're going live right now. I'm just doing that on a phone. I know you can do that on an expensive camera. You can have like the best sort of quality that you get from there. Um, but you know, sometimes, and especially when going out and taking photos, it's really nice to have like that extra phone strapped onto your camera, and create some behind the scene footage with that. So the gear that I'm using, actually, the reason that I start not with my main camera but with the phone, because it is such an extensive from your content creator's perspective. And I gotta look a little bit. What I'm going to share with you is I have these two things always in my camera bag, because I like to travel compact and I like to travel small. So what I usually do is I pack my camera and two lenses in like this small bag. Yeah, and I would highly suggest, of course, depending on the sort of content that you're making and what you're going to produce. But if it's not necessary to carry a lot, pack just everything in a small bag. It's completely possible, and I'm going to share with you the way that I do that, and I approach this sort of problem after 10 years of taking photos, going out, traveling, going out on the street, doing TFP projects. Um, if you are shooting natural light, like then I would heavily recommend this is the way to go. So coming back, um, for the people that don't know me, by the way, like I'm a photographer. I'm also a videographer. I did wedding photography for like 5 years back in the Netherlands. After that, I decided to go and travel, and now I travel around in Asia. And currently, I am located in Da Nang. And I really make a goal, an ambition of making money while traveling remotely and making money with my content. And I would love to share with you the same, because it's absolutely possible. Watch this stream to like really get a hang of my workflow and the sort of gear that I'm using, and the gear that you can use as well, actually, because we're going over budget options. The gear that you can use to just get this side hustle going for yourself. All right. So the one thing that I would absolutely recommend that you buy if you are serious about your content and want to post something extra on social media so now and then, is when you're working with your camera, uh, have this. This cost me like $5, and that is like a phone holder. You have some gear that you can even turn it, so you can always put your phone on your camera, and you can just turn on your camera um, off your phone and just shoot remote content, behind the scenes content. And that is super interesting, because you always wanna show some insights in like the behind the scenes when you're working, or how you got into this creative process. So that is actually one of the main takeaways from my content creators journey. People are not so much interested in the photos that you're taking. Of course, quality is king and it needs to look good, but they're way more interested in the behind the scenes footage. How do you create such a photo? Like what does it take? Like most people don't even have a camera, don't even have a professional camera, and they're just using their phone. So just seeing you work with such professional gear is like, wow, mind blowing. And giving an insight of that, this is really an easy way to do. If you go back through my YouTube channel for the last 3, 4, 5 videos, you see a lot of behind the scene footage. And some of the last videos I've taken are shot with this on my camera. I will quickly plug it in. It is now like a little bit tilted, but it looks like this. And normally this is tilted. You can buy them in different versions, and it's so easy to plug your phone on it, either go live, create like behind the scenes footage on how you created that shot, you know, some lively footage of the model posing, or maybe the setting that you're working in, and then take your shot and show it. And it's super easy to edit as well on your phone, because the footage is on your phone already. You just need to copy the photos that you have, and you're good to go. Another thing that this is helpful for, by the way, and now we're talking about phone, is that you can use this actually as an external monitor. Um, I should make another quick video about that, but putting your phone on here, that's actually the reason why it's tilted. Putting your phone on here, and if you're shooting with a Sony camera, you can directly connect your phone with your camera, and you get like this cinematic field, and you can even apply some LUTs to it. So you get like the big sort of, not the viewfinder, not small monitor, but like your phone, and that changes everything when it comes to filming. It's super interesting. Okay, so that's where we start with the phone. And by the way, if you're just joining the stream, watch this stream if you want to have like more information, want to learn about your starters gear setup, what kind of gear you can buy on a budget setting, what kind of lenses you need, and how you can get to start this side hustle going and start making money actually with this, because that's the most important thing. It's easy to spend money, but it's another story on how to make money. All right, so we'll be going through that some more. So another thing that I actually always carry with me is like this handle. I know this should actually come with a case, but I plug it on my hot shoe, and it's super easy to hold your camera like this when you film. All right. So that's when it comes to camera. Your phone is such a nice asset. I would definitely recommend using it. And the way that I use it also to stream this is just on a DJI Osmo Mobile. You can just easily plug your phone in it, and I can quickly show you this. I will turn this off and show you what I'm actually using here. This is what I'm using. You can plug it in and off easily, and even if you are just working with your phone, then this is definitely the way to go. All right, let me get back and plug you guys right back in. There we go. Yeah, so that's the DJI Osmo Mobile, and that's a great asset to have. On my YouTube channel, you will see like a video of 2 years ago where I actually made like a complete travel video film on the phone with just this gimbal. So it's perfectly possible. You just gotta know what you do, and there's something to say for like shooting a complete video and film on your phone. So if I would have to give like one tip on a starter's gear, ask yourself, what do I want to produce? Is it like really photography, or is it also videography for a big part? Like I always suffer from not shiny gear syndrome or something, but I'm often like I'm interested in everything. But if you want to create videos, like you can just easily use a DJI Osmo Mobile and shoot with your phone. Like it's insane. That's actually also the main reason why I just start with the phone, because it's such an amazing asset already. Okay, but I can imagine that if you joined this live stream and you're curious about like photography gear, then this is actually not what you're looking out, not what you want to hear. You want to maybe hear more about cameras. Shots by Taha. Hi, welcome to the stream, Taha. I'm really happy to have you here. I use the Osmo Pocket 3 for my videos. That's amazing. I actually 2 or 3 weeks ago I wrote an article about that. I've seen my friends work with that as well, and now that you mention it, I actually think that I have the same. Let me quickly grab it because it's such an amazing camera, and I'm happy that you bring that up. Yeah. So Taha, funny that you mentioned that actually, because the DJI Pocket, I've written like a whole article about that like a few weeks ago, and I honestly think that is the ultimate solution if you are just starting with videography. So, guys, remember the question that I just asked, like, decide for yourself what kind of content you're in, and that's hard. You can be inside, you can be into both photography, but you also can be into videography, and videography is so amazing. If you that's amazing, Taha. I did an extreme low light test on this camera, and DJI shared it on their story. It's a beast in low budget. Definitely, definitely. I've got mine here, so it's really interesting that you mentioned that. This actually got me started into videography. My story is 3 years ago, COVID hit. I was stuck in Vietnam. I wanted to switch into videography, but I didn't want to carry the heavy bulk, the heavy gimbal with me. So I bought this thing, and this thing got me into videography and got me my first travel video produced. And yeah, I honestly think the number three now is the best option out there is. If you are looking, guys, for a sort of, I wouldn't really call it low budget, but if you compare it to professional cameras, of course, with the big sensors, and then yeah, actually, then it's like the lower budget for sure. Yeah. Then look into action cams and definitely look into the DJI Pocket 3. I honestly agree with Taha. That is a beast to work with. I worked with the number one. Absolutely, absolutely awesome. Definitely look into that. It's got like this small camera. I can quickly show it and then we move on because we've got more things to cover. But and it's got this gimbal on it now, and this is the number one, so it's only 2 axis. But the number three is amazing. It's got 3 axis stabilization, and it can shoot vertical. So it is just so nice. And the main thing is it just fits into your pocket. It's pocket friendly. I usually shoot on stage, POV in concerts, due to its 20 millimeter fixed lens. Yeah. I completely agree. Um, I went out a few weeks ago actually, and I had to cover a bar crawl. But you're not going into this with a bar crawl, all right? You're not taking in this. What if some beer spills or something? So I shot like the whole thing on this, on the DJI Action 1. Yeah, I know I was really early, so I've got the first generation of everything. And that's right. Like these cameras are amazing. They shoot 4K quality in 10-bit, so that means you've got like all the stretched, the color grading tools, and 60 frames per second, of course. And I think the DJI Pocket 3 even more. So, like, this is a complete cinematographer's power tool. And the most beautiful thing is like I made like a complete travel video from Dalat a few weeks ago, and you can hang out of a train window with this, or with the DJI Pocket 3. You can hang out the window and take shots that you would never normally take with a normal camera. So this is magic. This is magic right here. Usually lighting is uneven, so if someone is a beginner, just put settings on automatic and boom, you're good to go. Definitely. And I cannot agree with you more. Yeah, that's actually usually what I do as well with these sort of cameras, just put it on auto, and yeah, you're just good to go, and it's okay. And like if you really want to upscale your footage or like make it look like more professional or anyway, then you put on some filters over it. You put some grain. You make it look cinematic with the film look creator in DaVinci. It is best for travel, and I would say like it's a beast. It's just simply a beast. Taha, yeah, again, welcome to the stream. If you are new here, I would love to connect with you and feel free to join my community. I'll be posting a video here every week focusing on helping starter creators like myself with things that I figure out and how to make money with your craft. And I'm so happy to hear from you that that is exactly what you're doing at the moment and that works for you. I'm really happy to have you here, Taha. So feel free to join and stick around. I shoot in D-Log 10-bit. That's amazing. And actually, we should do like a separate series of that, like how you can get like that real creative, cinematic, good-looking film look with an action cam. And I have some examples already, but the DJI Pocket 3 is amazing. My friend used it to shoot the behind the scenes of me from at the beach shoot in Thailand, and I was so amazed by the quality of the footage that came back, and like, oh, it's just amazing. The R6 Mark II versus the A7 IV in terms of photography. Faded dreams. That is hard for me to answer because I'm not really a Canon user. I can advise you on the Sony system though. I'm shooting with the A7CR, which has like a 45 megapixel sensor, and it's like, oh my god, I did a complete review video about this camera. And I'm so happy with it. I'm honestly convinced this is the ultimate travel camera. If you're a travel camera, videography camera, photo camera, like this thing can do it all. And there are several samples of that on my YouTube channel. And Download, thank you for your attention. Don't mention it, Download. And Shots by Taha, thanks buddy. I'll connect with you on Instagram. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to connect with you. Oh yeah, that's a really nice camera. Yeah, I did a full review video. This camera is my dream camera, and I mean that with the full 1000%. It does everything. This is not a starter's camera though. This is a body that you pay 2,500 euros for. Then you only have the body. I saved this. I didn't have to sell a rib or a liver, or I didn't have to sell any organs for this. But I saved quite some time for this, and I honestly think like, wow, this camera has features that 10 years ago I would die for to have, and it's like really amazing. Thanks, is 2405 f4 suitable for travel? Faded Dreams, definitely. That's definitely has got this beautiful wide angle look. But just like I discussed on my blog, actually, I would really urge you to look into the 3550 megapixel millimeter, 3550 millimeter by Tamron or Samyang, because that lens has got like all the wide range that you want to have while traveling. You don't want to switch lenses every time, and it's got an aperture of 2 to 2.8, which is kind of nice. And I hope in the future that I can test this lens out for you guys. Yeah, if you would like that, make sure to connect in my community and make a post about it, that you would love to see more content about that. I have a collaboration going on with a local photography store here in Da Nang in Vietnam, and it would be super interesting to ask them if I can borrow the lens for some time and test it out during a shoot. How is the balance in combination with the lenses that you use? This Sony body, Jeroen. By the way, great to have you here. Super cool. The balance is great. It obviously, if you put this like on a stabilizer, I have this one. I use the DJI RS3 Mini, and obviously you gotta balance it out. But the That's a great question if you are using the 35 to 150, because the moment you are zooming in, obviously the balance gets distorted. But you gotta put it somewhere in the middle, and I'm sure it'll be fine. So yeah, and shots by Taha, yeah, I can imagine it's a really expensive field, to be honest. Definitely. I got to do with the partners that are choosing photography and their relationship, because like it takes off like it, that is actually why this YouTube channel, why I choose this YouTube channel, also to focus on how you can make money with your photography instead of just going after the latest gear, because that is the easy part. But I would love always to discuss ways on how you can make money with your photography. If you're interested in that, well, I just written out and just posted a video the other week about all the ways that I make photography. Now, I don't think that video is the best video that I produced, and I think um, it's kind of dull maybe, but it gets the point. And these are the ways that I make money that work for me at the moment. If you're interested in that, feel free to check it out later. Stay here with me right now, of course. Captain Brenton, hello. So for the people that are joining right now on this live stream, I'm really happy to have you here. The purpose of this live stream is to go through some gear that you can afford, that you can buy, some budget gear that will get you started. What are the things that you gotta look out for? I go through some of the gears that I use, that I find particularly useful. So I'll be keeping this live stream online for a week or so. Let me know what you're thinking. And potentially some gear that you can use, that you can buy, that you can start out with, that will get you to start making money yourself. This YouTube channel is all about testing new things, introducing AI into your content creation process, and start making money in a smart way. So that's in short about this stream. Hang around if you're interested in that, and I'm so happy to have you, of course. All right, so time is going so fast. All right. So the next thing obviously is like a body. Well, I want to go quickly over a body that you can buy. As mentioned before, like I'm shooting with the A7CR, guys. This is my dream camera. I saved for it for quite some time, and I've been sticking with the Sony brand for a long time. That's not always what I started out with, and 10 years ago. Schultz by Taha, what's your take on the CVE1 and your lens recommendation with it? I haven't had that camera in my hands. I heard a lot of great stories about it. I think my friend even considered it to buying it, and I think for around, and correct me if I'm wrong, for around like €1,000, 800 to €1,000 price point. It's a great camera to have. It's the Mark II. Oh, then I really don't know. But what I would say is important for your photography. What do you think the latest smartphone obviously are getting closer to high-end cameras? Captain Brandon, yeah, that's an interesting story as well. So Taha, let's start with you. If you are looking for a camera right now in this moment, I started 10 years ago with the Canon 70. Oh, your stream is lagging for me. Are more people having problems with lagging stream? Because if that's so, I can switch to internet, and I will change and switch to mobile. If you're into videography, 4K 60 frames per second is key. If you are going to make professional looking footage and you want to have like this this bandwidth in color correcting, then 10-bit is definitely something you want to have. Yeah. Another thing is what you want to have is 4K 60 frames per second. Okay. Those are the things you want to look out for. For the rest, it's like Yeah, okay. And like Taha mentioned before, you can not only find that like in a professional camera. Yeah, oftentimes like I love to go out with an action cam. Yeah, and don't laugh about me, don't laugh about that. But oftentimes like a camera that you can take with you in a difficult manner, difficult situation, is more important that you can take like a small camera with you that is actually usable. So this tiny little pocket, I made like a I made like a tennis promotion with that. I went to a bar crawl. I was able to take it with me when I was just traveling, and I hang out. I actually hang out of a riding train, and when I hang out, like if I lose this, I lose 300 euros. If I hang out a train and I lose this, I lose 3,000 euros. So like that's a completely different story. So you can take creative shots with this as well. Like you can do crane shots with this and just put it like on a stick and have so super creative shots. You can even fake like drone shots with this. So in the end, what is the most important when you are going into videography? Make sure that you buy something that you can actually use. And if you're a complete beginner, I would suggest buy one of these, a DJI Pocket, or start with your phone. If it has like a 4K 60 frames per second film option, then that's okay, because aesthetics is queen, but story, man, story is king. And just go out there, experience, enjoy. Go out on the beach or go out in your city and make some time lapses and enjoy. I would definitely say that's important for video. Photography, though, that's a completely different story, because suddenly you are talking about shutter times and like megapixels. Now, megapixels are not the most important thing. 10 years ago, I started with a Canon 70D, had around like 22 and a half megapixel, was a crop camera, and it still like really had like great autofocus. Um, and that was a great camera to start with. Actually, it was a bulk of a thing, like you really created some muscles taking that tank with you. But did it do the job? Yes. Could it go broke? You could probably throw it, drop it on the ground, and uh, and like it would still work, you know. Totally agree. I'm really into hyperlapses. They are really fun to make. Taha, and then of course you've got like this power beast, and you walk around and you can make hyperlapses so easy. So Avanish, hi Jim. Good day to you. Good day to you as well, Avanish. If you are dropping just into this live stream, by the way, feel free to join the community. If you are interested in like starting to get into a side hustle, photography and content creation, this today I'm going over the gear that will get you there, with like a really good set to buy, some budget options that you will have, and some tips that get you started. Okay, so if you're dropping in, be sure to watch the stream back as well, because there's lots of valuable information on it. So I wanted to learn more about the lightings, not the natural lighting. Where do I get started? That's a great thing. That's not what we are going to discuss today, but I'll be sure to include that in a future video. And actually, I have the plan about like doing a beach shoot next week or in the weekend. Also implementing some flash photography. I talked about that with my friend. I don't know if he's still watching. Jeroen Swart, really great guy to also follow. And I'm looking to dive more into that. I do have these budget lights though from Ulanzi. So if you want to work with lights in the darker settings, I can definitely recommend these lights. They can have like the full RGB spectrum with the brightness, and I would definitely recommend looking into these. I've done some boudoir shots with these, spiced things up with exciting lights, and these things are great to have. And in Asia, they are around $15 a piece, while in Europe, I believe they sell them for $40 a piece, 40 or 45. So make sure to explore the best budget options for you and where they're the cheapest, of course. I hope that helps. And if this was useful, by the way, join my community. I'm really happy to have you there as well. Yeah. So yeah, where were we? If it comes to photography, make sure that you have a decent body with some megapixels. There's always the of course the discussion between crop cameras and full frame cameras, but also Mamen and Apkina budget lights not up to the par with Ulanzi, but they still helped. I I heard about Mamen. I don't know about Apkina, but thank you so much for the tip, Taha. That's really, really greatly appreciated. Hats off to you, Taha. Thank you so much. All right. So if it comes to photography, yeah, if you've got a body already, of course, don't switch. Make sure that you've got like a body with at least some megapixels. You can easily start out with crop cameras, and the one that I recommend and that I actually started with, it was a Canon 70D. And after the 70D, I switched to a 5D Mark III, the full frame version of the Canon 70D. But after that, I wanted to test out the Sony system. Mr. Janet, hey, welcome to the stream. I wanted to test out this mirrorless system, and I actually took some of the most wild photos with this cheap camera. This is the Sony a6000. They don't produce those anymore. It's one of the first mirrorless models of Sony back in the days. Like, I think I bought this like, no, at least 6 or 7 years ago. And it's got all the features that you wish for in a camera. So if I would have to like give a recommendation about some budget gear that you can start using to get into your side hustle, start creating, get some shots going, get some portrait shots going, it's not so much. I've used this one in 2021. Yeah, right, Taha? And what was your opinion of the system? I was completely blown away by it, because back in the day, like, the eye autofocus was completely new, and it could detect faces, and I was blown away by how good of a job it did. And just the whole experience of just pointing your camera at someone and it detects the face itself and you don't have to autofocus anymore. Wow, that was mind-blowing. Especially, of course, you have the mirrorless. It was your first camera, the A6000 or the Canon 70D. If it was the A6000, hats off to you, kind lady. And it's like seriously one of the best options you can buy. You've got basically two options, and I always tell people that are asking me like, wow, what is a good camera to start with? I ask them like, okay, how serious are you actually? Because if you want to grow into a system, then you can you want an option with interchangeable lenses, and that is what the A6000 series is. A6000, A6100, A6400, like all those numbers are basically the same. A6400, 6500 has got better autofocus features and has animal eye autofocus, that sort of stuff built in. Of course it improves, but the A6000 is basically like your best budget beginner's option if you are looking to start photography as a hobby, started to have like started to start making your side hustle. If you've never shot before, I heavily recommend the A6000 or a system that's very close by. Shots by Taha, use the A6000. The interface is a nightmare, but you know, we all got used to this gradually. The interface is the menu, and it's not so bad. I don't completely agree with that. The focus though, the spot autofocus, every time getting into the menu, that is quite a nightmare. And I lended it out to a family member the other day, and that was something that, like, yeah, Canon did better. Mr. Janet, I'm new in filmmaking and I use my S24. That's what I'm talking about. I figured like your Samsung S24. That's what I'm talking about. If you've got 4K 60 on your phone, you can make a complete travel video with that. And I actually did that as a case study. So hats off to you. Great start, great start. And if you're looking to upgrade, was just discussing with Taha, then the Pocket. The Pocket is great, a great alternative to look for if you want to upgrade and not have a heavy camera gear, camera setup with you all the time. Look for the DJI Pocket. I can heavily recommend. And if you, by the way, want to go over that, I've got a full written blog post about this on my website. I will link that down below after I finish this, and you can just go through it yourself and see what I use and what really works for me and what can work for you as well. Thoughts on the Sigma 7040 1.8? That is like the new flagship sort of lens, right? I come from the time of the 1835 1.8, and this lens is actually was amazing, and I'm sure the 1740 will even do a more amazing job. Guys, I'm going to take some water. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Yeah, so that lens, I would definitely say, by the way, if you are going like for a complete beginner's noob proof setup and you wanna have a wide range of options, then I would definitely, funny that you bring that up, I would definitely look into that, like either the 7040, the 1835 1.8 of Sigma, and look into that lens. That is one of the best lenses out there. It gives you this shallow depth of field. It's not budget, but it's very versatile. If you are going for budget options, of course, look for the Nifty 50. That's like a complete nice portrait lens, gives you that shallow depth of field, and you can get it for around 150 to 100 bucks most of the time. Second hand, probably even cheaper. Microphones, I did like a complete review video about the DJI Mic 2 versus the DJI Mic Mini, and I would definitely go for DJI Mic Mini or the DJI Mic 2. It depends, Taha. If you're doing interviews, you always have the nightmare about like not knowing whether the microphone is recording properly, yes or no. So then it's really good to go for the DJI Mic 2 because it's got internal recording. So you always, if it screws up on your main camera, your main gear rig, then you've got the internal recording that you can synchronize it with later. I'm diving deep into content creation these days. I've got my Mic Mini through a campaign from a brand last month. Taha, that is so interesting. I would love to learn more actually about like brand collaborations, since it's something that I'm looking out for myself as well. And please, by all means, join my community or get in touch, and I would love to collaborate or and get in touch with you and talk more about it anytime actually. Yeah, as it's something that I do myself as well quite heavily. Yeah, so what I would recommend, I did some interviews as well with an FPV drone pilot here in Da Nang. During that time, like I had one problem, and yeah, I'm sort of ashamed to say that and admit that, but like we did like 30 minutes of an interview, and after that I discovered that the DJI Mic Mini wasn't connecting properly. It was connected to the camera, but it just didn't record. Super stupid. Also not record on the phone. So that's when I figured, actually, when I realized like, okay, hey, if you're doing this for a hotel interview or something, like you can just pack your bags and you're done if that happens to you. So for content creation, I think DJI Mic Mini is fine. You can connect it to your camera directly. DJI Mic Mini doesn't connect well with your phone because there's a Bluetooth option, right? So Bluetooth and phone doesn't work properly, so you always have to have the transmitter on the bottom and have your microphone here, and that's sort of a hassle. That's an extra step that makes it While the DJI Mic 2, if you've got the budget, then you can easily attach it, and it has got internal recording, which like is like that whole extra step. Like you don't need to worry about it anymore. I don't actually use external microphones with phones, not worth the hassle. Okay, so you're probably going to use it for more professional productions then when you're recording yourself or you're recording other people. And then, especially then, it's like really good to have. I'm ashamed to admit I lost my DJI Mic Mini 2 like a month after that I bought them here, and that hurt. That really hurt. Since since that is bringing in the money right now with affiliate marketing and my Amazon review. But when I go for like I'm using the Zoom now, so that is like an alternative, but it's more of a professional like, yeah, what is this? If I would have to buy like new microphones, I would definitely go for the DJI Mic 2, or at least microphones with an internal internal recording option, because and yeah, definitely Taha. I'd say those are your options. You can always go for like the small pins here in because of course this is a live stream also about budget options. So if you're talking about microphones, then a budget option is small pin. You can have for $20 or $30. You can have like pins that you can connect directly to your phone. No extra hassle. You can record your audio separately on your phone. I mean, and then synchronize it. And that is the budget option to go with. If you want to look professional, go either for DJI Mic Mini, or if you want to have like stability. And again, like this is also on my blog, on my website. So just type in Jim Groot's DJI Mic, and you will get like a full written out like review about my experiences. And I tested them out in during resort videos in Thailand. I was a guest in Phuket, and I got a chance to test out these microphones. And there were also some people doing a retreat and wanted to do some interviews, some testimonials, and that's where I use them, and I share all about that on my blog post. Rock and roll. What's the difference between A-roll and A-roll videography? I think you mean A-roll and B-roll. That's a separate topic. This live stream is all about what kind of cheap gear and what's budget gear that you can get started with. But I'm so happy to have you, of course, rock and roll, and like I'm willing to join my community. Post that question here, and I'm really willing to dive into that and like really get that going. B-roll and A-roll, super interesting question. Good question. All right, so that is my take on microphones. Yeah, definitely. Zoom, I bought that 4 years ago. I'm really happy to have that now since I lost my DJI Mic Mini 2. Otherwise, look for the DJI Mic Mini and the DJI Mic 2. Those are great options if you want to have some quality microphone gear, basically. Really easy to use as well. All right. So yeah, do you guys have any questions about like cameras in general? Because where were we? We were with the Sony A6000, and that one together with the 1835 from Sigma, or together with the 1840 from Sigma, which is out now, the upgraded version. Those are like great lenses to start with. Those will like set you up very versatile. Yeah, rock and roll. You mean B-roll? Yeah, B-roll basically is footage that you put over your A-roll, and B-roll is to entertain the watcher and give them some sense. If you're watching at your A-roll, your interview footage the whole time, that might get boring. So most of the time, people put B-roll on it. And if you want to know more about that, please join my community. And I'm really happy to have you there and discuss that further. Communities, YouTube communities. I'm happy to say that my YouTube channel now has a community. Welcome. Yeah, Taha, it's like supporting footage. It gives you a sense of cinematic feeling, makes it more juicier, makes it more pleasing to watch, instead of just watching at your nose all the time while you're doing a story. If this would be a recorded footage, I would put some B-roll on top of my face right now while I'm doing my story. That's B-roll. All right. Some other options though, like the lenses that I'm used, and like we can be quite short about that. What I really use to take my beach photography to the next level is this 35 millimeter 1.4 baby, and that is like a fairly wide angle lens. I use this for almost 90% of my photography. I'm using this on a full frame though. So if you've got the crop camera, the 1840 or the 1835 from Sigma, they are like really great options. What I take my photos with as well, and I recently on my Instagram you see some photos, and I've taken some videos. I love to take photos with this baby. This is the 85 millimeter 1.4. My work is heavily inspired by Irene Rudnick. For the people that don't know Irene, she's a photographer from Canada, and most of the time, like when she started out a few years ago, when I got to see her content for the first time, her lens is like the 85 1.2. Now this is a $2,000 lens, like it's unaffordable unless you've got you've got a lung extra. But this Samyang lens, I came across this, and it's like a really nice budget option. 85 millimeter 1.4. It's like got that really beautiful depth of field, shallow depth of field, and for around $400 to $450 you can have this lens, and it's like for full frame, it's like wow, it's like so creamy, so delicious. It's great. That is the budget option though. For full frame, if you are probably shooting with a crop camera and you're starting, yeah, the $2,000 give you a mini heart attack, right? And it's probably more towards like the 2,500 range. 85 1.2. The creaminess is delicious though. Like you really get that it's like this dreamy look. Like most of the time, I'm really a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of the bill though. So how can you make money with that? By doing these sort of things, but you gotta be invested before you logically like will be able to afford such an investment, right? At least I am not that rich, not yet. So what is another lens as a starter? If you want to start out with photography and you buy your first camera, then like this is like a really interesting lens to buy into as well. If you are like a big fan of environment, landscapes, if you're a fan of video as well with your crop camera, then a wide angle lens is a really nice option to have. And Sigma, I'm a Sigma boy. Sigma has got a 16 millimeter lens that is like the equivalent of a 24 millimeter option, like those 2470s. Those are so popular because 24 millimeter is basically like the wide range that you can have on a camera without too much distortion. And this lens is available for 350 euros. So if you would want to have like your ultimate starter setup, then like an A6000 with an 1835 would get you would get like your budget startup for under 1,000 euros. Sony G Master lenses are like super expensive. I got to shoot this year releasing a G Master lenses in my country. Taha, you were absolutely true, but they are worth it. I did a test the other day, like a half a year ago or something. It's also on my YouTube channel, of course. And I got to test the 85 millimeter G Master 1.4, the Mark 1 lens, and I compared that with my own Samyang lens, and the sharpness of it is like really in high contrast to my Samyang budget lens. So you are You're getting this sharpness, you're getting the speed. You're not getting the money though. It comes at a price point, and you gotta figure out for yourself whether that's worth it or not, of course. But anyway, that's advanced stuff. But if you're at that point, G Master, man, it is nice to have it. Expensive as hell as well. Super worth it. Geiku, long use G Master lenses. Yeah, I was skeptical at first. I thought like, wow, you're not going to buy a $3,000 lens, are you? Or even 2,000. I mean, come on, there's limits. But yeah, they're sharp. I did some portrait shots with it as well, and like you can literally see everything on the skin of your models, and it's so good. What are your thoughts about the Sony CVE1? I'm getting this question a lot, guys, and I'm going to write it down, and maybe I can test it for you guys, because I honestly never shot with the Sony CVE1, but maybe I can interview some people about it. And you are now like the third or fourth person that is asking about it, so um, I will dive into that. And if you find it interesting, please feel free to welcome my community and post about it as well, so we can figure it out together. Hi, more on Sigma. Well, I don't shoot Sony, I shoot Canon. I have the 24-35 f2. I really like this lens, but the weight is so much. A small range seems really not worth it. What lens should I get? What kind of camera are you shooting on? Is this a full frame Yuming, or is this a crop camera? Basically, it also depends what you want to shoot. If you're going for portrait options, generally you want like have longer lenses. If you are shooting landscapes, you want to have like wide angle lenses. I've owned 2470 but didn't like it, to be honest. Full frame, yes. Okay. It's a famous camera nowadays. Yeah, I figured like I stick with my Sony A7CR because I'm so happy with it, but by no means that's a regular option, right? Yeah, guys, let's spar. What is like a really good night? If you don't like the 2470, it all depends on the wide angle side. I have telephoto lens already, thank you. I have got the Samyang 14 millimeters. That's this one. It's a 14 millimeter 2.8. That's like a really nice budget option that you can buy. It has some distortion though, so yeah, if you want to have like the somewhat more of the zoom range, I know there's lenses out there from 12 to 24 or 12 to 26 millimeter. That is the first option that I gotta think about. And then yeah, the 2470. But why don't you like the 2470? What's your favorite point and shoot camera? That is definitely this one. Point and shoot camera. This one. If you and like I wanted to get there. I want to get there like later actually, but like there's Sony has got like this one camera line, the Sony RX 100, and they go all the way up to the Mark 5, 6 and 7 now. That is like my favorite point and shoot camera. I've done a review about that last year because I saw it first time and I thought like, wow, this is amazing. It doesn't have interchangeable lenses, but it does have like all the options that you have in a viewfinder. It's got like a small telescope that you can put up, and you can look through it, and it's like super small, super compact, and it's got the equivalent of a 2470 millimeter lens on it. So like there's no need to really change the lenses as well. If you are looking for a point and shoot camera that gives you professional results, definitely look into the the RX, Sony RX 100 series. Man, I would buy one for everyone, for my mom, for example, if she wanted to go into photography, but not having the hassle of changing lenses all the time. Just, yeah. Also the weight, internal zoom would be a great bonus, like 24, 35. Appreciate you for pointing out the 14 millimeter. We'll have a look. Yeah, for Canon, any wide angle lens. You're asking the wrong photographer, though. I'm a portrait photographer, and just because I love to travel, I got like this wide angle lens because I like to travel, you know. So I love to have like a wide angle option, and now sometimes I use it for videography. I just recorded like an AUSI video with it and went around. But to be honest, like for the rest, I am most of the time just shooting with prime lenses. Look for the 3550 millimeters from Samyang. This is a little bit on the heavier side, but like it covers like all the ranges. It will set you back a few bucks, but they call it the lens that rules all other lenses because it has got the wide angle option, 35 millimeter, till all the 150 millimeter. I mean, can you imagine that at f2.8? Yeah, that's what I gotta think. My thoughts are going back to that lens every time. By the way, guys, this stream was set up to give you like a budget starter price point, a budget kit, so that you can start your side hustle, start making money with photography. And I'm so happy to have you guys here. If you like this sort of content and you would love to discuss this further, please feel free to join my community, subscribe, join my community, and let's continue this conversation further. Always so happy to have you. Yeah. So let's go. These are my favorite lenses. If you're really looking for a budget lens, go for the Nifty 50, of course. If you're a little bit more serious, really explore either with crop cameras, the 1835, 1840. That's good that you brought that up. Other guy, sorry about that. Notin 10C. If you're still here, thanks for bringing that up. That's a great lens alternative. And shots by Taha, really nice to meet you as well. See you around, and love to stay in touch with you. Absolutely, great to have you. Thank you so much. And well, the Nifty 50, and otherwise look for the 3550 from Tamron. And by the way, these suggestions are all written down in my blog post. I've got this for me. If you look at my name, Jim Groots, what's in my camera bag, it will pop out like the full list and a downloadable cheat sheet. And I hope that will help you further, give you some inspiration, some ideas about the sort of gear that you can buy. It's got quite some links with it, some affiliate links to it as well. That is, if you decide to buy it, like that's a way to support the channel. But I genuinely hope that it helps you creating content, and yeah, buy the gear that you need, buy the gear that you want, and make more money with photography. Like that's always the end goal with this stream. I want it to work for you. I want it for you to get the results that you want and get money with it, because there's no such thing as free content. I think, and you should be fairly compensated for the content that you're putting out there. All right. So we talked about microphones, we talked about cameras, we talked about lenses. These are the two action cams that I really love, and to create not only behind scene footage, but also create content when you're going out. If you're into videography, I've written like a whole blog post about why the DJI Pocket 3 is like the best camera. This is the DJI Pocket 1, but I've been using this for so long, and it's such an amazing tool in my toolkit that I definitely need to put this out there in this live stream. This is like one camera. If you're into videography and you want to have like a camera that you can always take with you, you want to have an option to shoot behind scene footage, take this, look into this. It's amazing, it's super cool. It's basically fits into your pocket, super easy to take out and start filming, and it's got like this gimbal. I can show it. Got this gimbal kind of stabilization, and super cool to have in your pocket. Otherwise, always use an action cam. I swear with this one, but any action cam will do, honestly. All right. The second thing is this. Put this on your camera with your hot shoe. Put your phone on it. I can't really show that right now, but super easy to take behind scene footage. This is a must-have, and you can watch the stream back later. If you find this interesting, I explain how you can use this to shoot behind scenes footage of you. I think this is essential in every content creator's toolkit, because people are generally okay, they like to see the results, but as a content creator, they're way more interested in the creative process. How did you come to these results? How can someone replicate these results, and how can someone get inspiration on how to get these results themselves? It also gives like a small insight in how much professionalism, how much effort you put into this. So this is like super good to have. All right, if you are going into professional photography, the lenses that we've been going over is like, yeah, key. So once you've selected your body, you want to select like a proper lens. And that definitely can make or break your photography and your videography. So the two lenses that I recommend, actually, that I swear with, or that are not budget options, but that I really love to work with and that I take to every beach session with me, are these one, the 85mm 1.4. And again, this is a budget option. You don't have to pay a lot for this. You pay around 450 euros for this. Excuse me. Not more than 500 bucks. And this will get you this creamy background with your portrait photography. I traveled to Thailand and I met a famous, well, yeah, famous maybe is too much, but I've met a well-known photographer there, Chris Siam. And this photographer, most of the time he shoots with an 85, does wonderful work with portraits and model sessions. And he really inspired me to pick this lens up more. If you are traveling though and you want to have like a slightly more wide angle look and you want to capture more of the environment, the 35mm 1.4 is a lens I personally swear with. It's got this shallow depth of field. It's got like this aperture of 1.4. It's still around $600 or $700, but it's this all-round lens. And if you're talking about making money, this is the lens that I use that is 90% of the time on my camera when I'm doing weddings. Actually, when I go out and I do portrait sessions for couples, then this lens is for me the way to go. It's versatile. You can walk back, but you can also take fairly close-up shots. If you go close up to the couple, let me read that. If you walk fairly close up, you get a slight distortion, and it can like pull the faces of your subject out a little bit. It won't be noticeable for most people, and yeah, then this lens is a fairly good option. If you are shooting on a crop camera, then definitely look into the Sigma 18-40. I think that is like one of the most versatile lenses out there. Basit K, how much do you earn per month on average? Basit, I recently made a video about that. You can watch that on my YouTube channel. It differs per month, but I've got several income stream, and maybe that's a topic for another live stream to dive into. Yeah, it depends. Some months I earn a lot. actually, and some months it's crickets. And it depends if there's a wedding season, or how much affiliate sales I make. All I can say in this live stream, I think now, is like it's definitely possible to make a decent income with your content creation and your camera. And if you're interested in that, there's a complete video with a complete breakdown that I just uploaded actually the other day. It's my last video. It's not the most interesting video. It's a little bit of a dull video as well. Now looking back at it, but if you want to have a sense about how much, where I get my money from, basically, then that's the video to check out. And I've also written a blog about that if you're more of a reader. I hope that helps you, Basit, because it's definitely possible. Yeah. So now that's actually it when it comes to cameras, and I will definitely check the CVE1. Another thing that I want to point out that really helped me a lot creating professional looking video footage is buying the DJI Ronin RS3 Mini. And this is the gimbal that I use. It's also in my cheat sheet. So if you're interested in that, it's a gimbal that is so easy to set up. It's easy to calibrate, and actually in the back I started out with a DJI Ronin S. My god, that was a complete nightmare. That took ages to set up, and you needed to use the app and to calibrate, and like with this it is so easy to do. And to be honest, when I set up like this on my camera, I set my camera on this, I stabilize it in a good way, it usually takes me around 2 to no, not more than 5 minutes. Not more than 5 minutes. And as you can see, it's small. I can take this with me like this. I put my camera on it, like, and it's like, it definitely looks more towards the professional side. Like you will draw more eyes to you. You will have more eyeballs on your camera setup, and you will definitely have security personnel coming to you asking if you're a professional photographer or videographer. But yeah, I also took that with me in situations in a boat ride. Looking back now, I took it with me when I was visiting like high-end resorts here. If you don't want the hassle though, like, and if you want to have an easy solution, check out the DJI Pocket 3. Definitely the number 3. The Pocket number 1 works as well, just has a little bit less features. So another thing that I want to plug, if you are interested in like really cheap options and you want to have like that analog vintage film look feel, my friend in Da Nang here is 3D printing his own lenses. So he brought these 2 lenses for me. And what makes that special is that you plug it onto your camera and you can actually use any DSLR as a point and shoot camera. And I will demonstrate that right now actually, because I can show you what that looks like. And I have this lens right here, and if you are interested in, wow, and this clicks really nicely, he calls this the mood glass. And if you're looking like for cheap options, know that there are like budget lenses out there like these one that like give you the real the real film look straight out of camera. You turn on your camera and this is like pop, you click it, there's only manual focus, and the lenses are being made out of disposable cameras. So this tiny little lens here, you can put it on your camera, you can click on it, and it takes the most beautiful photos. Not sharp, but that's part of the imperfection. And those kind of lenses are out there as well and are super interesting to look into, basically. Yeah. Know that is around and that's an option. Basit, if your camera had feelings, what do you think it'd say after a 10-hour wedding shot? It would say, use me harder, daddy. Yeah. No, this like if you are just using your camera, it's a piece of gear. It should just work, and if the battery is down, like you should recharge it and use it some more. So that's as far as I can say. If my camera had feelings, I would say do your work. All right, so that's it for this stream, guys. It took a little bit longer than I had anticipated and thought. If you like this sort of content, let me know. Join my community and subscribe, of course. I would love to hear from you. And know that there is like I will post a link below on my blog post. I've written all of this out, so the gear that I went over, what works for me, and how you can make money with that. And it has some pointers as well, and how you can kickstart your own creator's journey. Start making money with this, because honestly, it's not as hard if you know what steps to go through. And I've written most of it out on my blog post. And I would love to have you in my community as well. If you liked this stream, of course, I'm really happy with a thumbs up, a like, and a subscribe. And I'm planning to do more of these kind of live streams, so stay tuned. And I'm more than happy to hear from you and to capture you in the next one, of course. And I really hoped this helped. Thank you for spending your time with me. And go out there and keep shooting. All right. There is an option to ask more questions if you have, by the way. And if there is no questions, then of course I wish you a very, very pleasant day. Okay, I guess that'll be it for now. If there's still any question, feel free to comment under this video, and I'll make sure to go over all the comments and the posts in the community. And I'll catch you guys in the next one, and I hope this helped. All right, bye.